Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another episode of the Bird's Brain podcast, presented to you by How You Doing Media. How you doing, ladies and gentlemen? Listen, I'm in like such a good mood right now. Got home from work a little while ago. Come home, I do my usual routine, like unpack my lunchbox, get the computer out, get ready to record a podcast episode. And most nights I watch YouTube when I get home because I follow so many YouTubers. It's been a thing of my life for the longest time. And it's been so cool to like watch these YouTubers over the years, especially my favorite ones, like watch them grow within their life from like 2016 to now. It just makes me feel warm and fuzzy on the inside. And I was like, oh, I'm in such a good mood because I just watched this YouTube video from Casey Neistat about the Knicks winning the NBA Finals. They won the championship, and he documented it because a little bit of a spoiler if you haven't seen the video yet or you don't know who this guy is. I encourage you, like, go check out Casey's stuff because he's a really cool dude, and he makes some great, like, suspenseful content that you just always want to come back for more. And he only uploads like ever so often. He's been uploading a little bit more the past couple months, whatever. But here's the situation of the video that I watched, and I'm like gonna be so honest with you. As a grown man, I almost cried watching this video. Like, I got teary-eyed because it was like, his videos make you feel like you're in that space. You're there with him. You're experiencing it just at the same time that he is. So you don't feel left out. You don't feel like you're just watching a video. But nonetheless, the situation of the video is he had a block party on. He lives in NYC, so he was having a block party. He's from New York. He's watching the Knicks. He's on this shut down street, and they're having a watch party for the Knicks' final game, which was Game 5 or Game 6. I can't remember. I haven't really stayed up to date with it. Nonetheless, he's on this shut down street because his children wanted to watch it, and they wanted to have a watch party. So he goes out into the street, sets up his projector with a battery, the whole 9 yards. They start watching the game. And over the course of the video, you can see like 50 people here, another 20 here, another 30 here, another 15. And like at one point he turns the camera around and it's like probably a solid 200 people behind his 3 little children and then like 300 people behind him. And they're like obviously respecting these children's space and his wife and everything. But like everybody is there to watch the Knicks win. And it just is so crazy to me. Like, thinking back now, I don't know what it is about recording podcasts and having to burp all the time, but I gotta stop. Maybe it's because I talk too much. Nonetheless, being able to experience that through his video was like, just like showered me with joy. Being able to kind of experience that with him in this situation, in the moment. Watching that video, I felt so good. And like, that's not like the topics of anything that I want to talk about today. But that is just like, when I watch YouTube, that is why I watch who I watch. That is why still to this day at 22 years old, I still watch YouTube. Because the people that I enjoy watching the most just like seriously make you feel like you are there experiencing it with them. And I'm going to be so honest. I know I'm somebody in this life, but to Casey, I'm a nobody, which sounds horrible to me to say. It's just the fact that he doesn't even know that I exist. And if at some point in my life he does know that I exist, you know, I want to show him my work. I want to show him how passionate I am, show him that he has inspired me to be not exactly like him, but I guess you could say like a spitting image. Now, nonetheless, I have none of my movies like on the internet and the things that I recorded because I'm too self-conscious to post them, whatever, blah, blah, blah. But I have a podcast. I'm so passionate about this, and it's only because of that man. Like, I've literally been watching him since 2016 when he started daily vlogging, and he did that for 800 days, and I was there for all of it. And like, that is the one that I can watch and I'm like, man, I'm proud to live this life. And if someday he figures out who I am, I'm not going to ruin that chance, because I could be cliche and talk about and be like, oh, I feel like it's like I'm set apart from everyone else, and me and him would get along so well. But it's like I am just so passionate about it, where like I take the chance 24/7 in the exact same way he did. And his life story, there's plenty of podcasts out there where he tells his life story and the things that happened, but he has literally gone like go for broke in every single part of his life just to make his filmmaking career work. And like he's been down and out with zero and still somehow made it work. And that's the way that I want to be. That's the way I've not essentially always been, but will always be from here on out, because I've learned how crucial it is to bet on yourself. But nonetheless, if Casey ever figures out who I am, and like, if he ever figures out who I am and what I do, and we can like meet and talk, and I can learn like the tricks from him, I would never in my life be happier, honestly. Now I'm sure like obviously the day that I get married and have my first kid and all that, but like right now, I guess you could say that would be like a dream of mine, essentially, nonetheless. Anyways, besides the point about that whole entire topic, I still, for the life of me, love watching YouTube so much because of that, being able to sit there in the moment and feel like I'm there with him. Okay, let's transition. Let's get into some stuff that like actually matters instead of like me rambling on about my favorite person. One of the things that first of all, before I get into anything, I want to tell you about something that I learned about the other day that like completely blew my mind, because I was like, there's no way it's actually this deep. And I'm not even kidding you. There is a whole documentary on it. And there's also like a How It's Made episode, and like this is like apparently like a ginormous deal, and I fully have no reason why. Like I don't understand why it's so serious. Apparently back in like 2022, somewhere around there. I don't know if we're still in it. I'm not sure if it's still going on, but apparently we were in a glitter shortage because they use like glitter in all kinds of different applications. I'm going to be honest with you. I could count like maybe like two things that glitters in, and it's like women's makeup, because they have like the you know what I'm talking about, like the eye stuff where it's like glittery, or they can put on like body glitter or whatever, but that's like makeup. And then there's literally just like glitter in itself, like edible glitter and stuff like that, where you're just using it as glitter to get some shine out of it. Like, let's not be dumb. But apparently there's like thousands of applications. So I guess you could like put it, like, it doesn't matter, but like you can put it in the same boat as oil. Like, people don't understand how much like oil is in things, and apparently we don't understand how much glitter is in things. Wild to me. Apparently there's a lot of applications for glitter, and at one point we were in a shortage of it. Whatever. But nonetheless, more of a like an educational, purposeful topic to talk about. One of the things that really sticks out in my mind, I have in my notes, that just over the last 2-3 weeks has like sat with me, been with me, and just like to the point of like I need to talk about this, not because I have no one else to talk about it, but I feel like it could help other people out, is the situation of like being burnt out on life, being burnt out on work, being burnt out on things, and not only being burnt out, but how to recover from those things. Because if I am like being fully transparently honest, I can tell you firsthand, like when it comes to generational burnouts, I am the king of it. I get so burnt out on things because of the way my brain works with the like ADHD and compulsiveness, OCD, all of that. I can get burnt out because sometimes I do. Like I've had the same Subway order for the last 15 years, and I get burnt out on it to the point where I don't eat Subway for the longest time, and then when I do come back, I'm like, oh yeah, I remember why I love it so much. But like being burnt out, and it's really just simple as doing something to the point where you can't stand it anymore. And there's like, I don't think it's a full-on existential crisis to where we need to be like, okay, everybody go to their therapist and talk about this and like figure out the problem, figure out the issue, so we can have a solution, because everybody's different. I burped. Anyways, it's more of a situation of how do you recover from those things, and I guess I can really like only give my personal like standpoint of like my burnouts and the things that I experience, but I feel like they're universal because being burnt out on just like life in general is so universal because no matter the consequences, no matter the circumstances, no matter the situation, it could I don't know why I'm having so many like burps and yawns and all that, but it's kind of aggravating me. What do we to boil down, like what is at the end of the day like a full-on burnout? It's the situation of doing something so much where you can't tolerate it anymore. You need a change. And so then like we get into it and we ask ourselves the question is like identifying the problem. Where does it stem from? What are we doing that's too much? My situation a lot of times is work. I get burnt out on work because not that and I don't want anybody to take it out of context. I don't want anybody to say that I'm complaining, whatever. I lost my train of thought. Anyways, understanding where that like stems from, I guess, kind of, but not like, I'm not a pro at this. I'm not a pro. I'm sorry. There's so many background noises going on. I'm sure you can hear them all. People are trying to call me, whatever. I've fully lost my train of thought now, and I don't remember what I was talking about. But back to where I can remember the existential crisis part of it, it's not. But we have to find a solution to it. Identifying where you're burnt out, identifying where you lie with that situation, and like remembering a little bit now back to my work situation. The thing that causes me to be burnt out at work, and like I was saying before I lost my train of thought, I don't want anybody to get misconstrued or think that I'm like, I hate working or I hate my job or anything like that. I love my job to the point of like absolute exhaustion, to the point of burnout, because my job is so fun. And there's probably going to be some people out there, and I'm not going to name names, but you know exactly who you are. And at the end of the day, it doesn't bother me. But you think I do absolutely nothing at work, and that's not true. I'm not here to argue about that or say my piece on it. I will say this. My job allows me to work however many hours I need to, for the simple fact that it's the oil and gas industry, and that works 24/7, 365. There's no day off for oil and gas. And so when I work so much to the point of burnout, where I'm on a 130-hour week, 120-hour week, I'm to the point where I can't stand going to work because I've done nothing else but work. And the only solution to that is for me to get days off. But I don't get days off. I have to put in for those days off. So then the weekend comes and I have to be able to find my source of relaxation. Relaxation. And so I supplement it by, going golfing, by seeing family, by relaxing and watching TV for the day, doing all these different things. But I think the main focus of it all is the fact that when you do get burnt out, you have to recognize that you're burnt out and not allow it to like form into some kind of like depression or extra anxiety or stress or whatever. Because I'm going to be honest, I throw so much on my plate to where I do get burnt out on a lot of things. And I just have to step back and be like, okay, I need a moment, a day or two to be able to come back to this and be like, okay, that we're getting a little bit better now and I can handle it again. And I'm back to where I need to be. And I feel like a lot of people don't get to that point. They just burn out and they're like, let's scrap it all and let's start from scratch. And then it somehow becomes an underlying problem with the rest of the things that are going on within your life. But nonetheless, the whole process for me is being burnt out, recognizing that I am burnt out, understanding why I'm burnt out, and what the solution is. And like my work thing, I work too much. I have to have a couple of days off, so that's the weekend. Saturday, Sunday, Friday night most of the times, I unwind, relax a little bit, whatever. But half the issue is understanding that I am burnt out. And it was like I was talking with my boss today, doing all of these things, working a regular day job, having a business on the side, that I'm starting to do more with, that I'm starting to develop the need to focus on my work at my day job 100%, but also needing to come home from work and work on my business, the thing that I'm building 100% as well. And a lot of people will be like, oh, you're crazy for doing that. Why wouldn't you just quit one of them? And it's like, because I don't want to, because I want a lot on my plate, because I know the feeling of success, or at least a piece of success. And I want, instead of having a slice, I want the full pie. I want the full thing. And my moment right here real quick, I will allow myself to be receptive to the information while also serving God at the same time, because I fully believe that he would not throw all of this at me and put it on my plate, or even just allow me to throw it on my plate if he knew I couldn't handle it, if he knew that I wouldn't come out on top. He's going to be able to provide me with all of the things that I need to make it out on top. And, my philosophy sometimes is, so be it, I'm burnt out. God's going to allow me to get back to the point where I'm not burnt out anymore, and I'm so passionate about it that I don't see the burnout as an issue. And then when I do slow down, I'm like, it's okay. Maybe the burnout is, and that's then where my circumstances. I get back into the Bible. I do my relaxation. I get back into the Bible. I get closer to Jesus. I do all this, and I start to study more and understand, like, my success is fully not based on just the work that I do. It's based on the success that I see, that God allows me to have, the opportunities and situations that he puts me in, so that I can come out on top with the information with the wisdom and guidance and everything that he has allowed me to gain through getting to know him better. And so, like, in a lot of places I look like Donald Trump there for a second, right? China. Anyways, I get to that point where then I look at it and I'm like, maybe I'm not so burnt out. Maybe it's just that I need to recognize that probably I should slow down a little bit. And it's like most conversations that I have with this podcast, I have new revelations as soon as I talk about it, because I tell myself I'm burnt out. But am I really burnt out? Or is it that I just need to maybe slow down a little bit and recognize where God has me? Recognize in the moment how God is working and allowing me to have these situations and opportunities and scenarios. And not can I use him, but will I allow him to use me to see that end goal of success? I don't know if that made sense the way I said it. But nonetheless, and I like to always call it like the big burnout, where you're just like, I'm so tired, I can't do anything. That's not, after my revelation now, maybe that's not such a big issue. I don't know. I'm never going to like highly encourage it and be like, leave it down in the comments below. Let me know what you think in the comments below. But it's like, sometimes you do need like other outside perspectives from that. So I guess like in that situation, leave a comment below, like pause the video or just scroll back down in the comments and like let me know. Maybe the big burnout's not that big of an issue. Or maybe I thought it was until I talked it out. A lot of the time it's just sometimes just me talking things out over the podcast and being like, maybe that just wasn't such a big issue and I made it a big issue. Obviously, I'm not going to talk about like personal drama and stuff like that, and like out my family and all that. Nonetheless, whatever. Like, I don't know. Let me know. Maybe I'm just making a big deal out of it. Majority of the time I do that. I make a big deal out of nothing. But like, maybe that's not a big deal. Let me know. But within inside of all of it, I also feel like it's like a situation of, and a lot of times for me, I don't remember this fact, and it's like we are old enough, get with the program. Like, don't play and a lot of people will say that, like, I don't know. I don't know if everybody would say it, but like probably like majority of my immediate family, couple of my friends, um, and maybe some like acquaintances or whatever. But they will say that like I'm very hard headed. I'm very stern. I'm very like cutthroat and to the point because not only the things that I've been through, like in younger years, I don't let that like obviously the conversation that we've had before. I don't let that define me. It's not exactly who I am, but that's definitely shaped me into having that determination and discipline to do certain things in life. And that's where I'm like, okay, maybe after talking it all through, maybe doing all these things, we are old enough. I can get with the program. You can get with the program. Because like I tell people all the time, I'm like, oh, it's not that serious. Like life's not that serious, blah 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 blah. You're reading into it too much. And it's like sometimes I have to tell myself that as well. But then we get into the conversation of like making excuses. Now you're making excuses for everything else. For what reason exactly? I'm not sure. You're old enough. Get with the program. You're old enough. You know exactly what you're doing. Like, I guess you could say like sit here and complain for the rest of the episode about what is wrong. But maybe at the end of the day there is nothing wrong, and you just have to, like in my situation, talk it out and be able to understand like you've got an issue, but it's not that deep, dog. It's really not that deep. I'm not sure. And it's so bad of me as well, because if you like fully wanted to get into the conversation of like who like cutthroat intense like of me, I literally, and this is so funny to me because of starting the episode off saying me as a grown man, I almost cried at a YouTube video because I felt so in the moment for something, and that's like fully my feelings. It's like I literally have written down in my notes here for something to talk about. I literally wrote down, why do feelings matter so much? And it's like, dog, what what kind of headspace was I in to write that down and be like, that's a good topic I should talk about, because why do the feelings actually matter at all? Maybe it's a situation of because I'm a big dummy and I don't know how to fully feel my feelings 90% of the time, because it's easier just not to like have any qualms about the way that you feel. Nonetheless, I don't know why I thought that was something good. You know what? Honestly, all of the notes for this episode are probably horrible, and the way now that I'm like now that I'm not in the moment and talking about the existential crisis that I thought I was in, it makes absolutely no sense, and probably to the public I would look like an idiot, because I'll literally give you that's okay, that one definitely needs to be talked about here in about 5 minutes when I get done with this. Anyways, the notes in succession for this episode specifically, besides the Casey Neistat, Knicks winning, all of that, it's literally the big burnout and how to recover from it. We are definitely old enough, so get with the program and stop making excuses. Why do feelings matter so much? And is it really ever that deep? I don't know when I brainstormed these ideas, but I had to have been in like what I thought was an existential crisis, to the point of like no return. And I just noticed just now, I'm still in my work clothes. I'm so sorry for that, but also at the same time I'm not, because like I'm not going to change into I'm not going to go take a shower and change into another outfit just to look good for you, because that's going to get me like more clicks and likes and views and all that. I don't really care. I'm here to apparently ramble on about topics that make absolutely no sense once you sit on them for a couple of days. But also just because, I look pretty decent in this shirt. No, I'm kidding. I probably look like a spaghetti noodle. But nonetheless, back to some more like things that we should probably talk about. Probably not. It's just the way that my brains work. But dude, seriously, get with the program. It's just the way that I work and the way that I think about things. And I can remember this thought, but in my notes, it literally says, the way that women conduct themselves. I feel like that's such a condescending comment to make, and I'm glad that nobody else but me can see these notes on brainstorming ideas. But I can remember why I thought this. And it's because not only do I feel like we're at a dilemma at this point in time with the way that women conduct themselves, but because of the underlying issue of social media, and I'll work into that a little bit more, but I want to say this. The way that women conduct themselves nowadays is not something, I guess, at least to just me, because there's plenty of men out there still to this day that find this so flattering and find it so amusing. But dressing with dental floss, not a good idea. Being half naked, not a good idea. Having the narrative of every single man is bad, so I'm either going to talk to none or I'm going to talk to all of them. I don't know what we're doing there, but all of it, and obviously it's the situation of I'm not going to say all women conduct themselves the same and every single, but transitioning into social media side of it. I'm not going to single them all out, but I know that it has a very heavy influence on the way that women act, the way that women conduct themselves, and the things that they allow themselves to do, and they'll allow things in their life to happen that way. Doesn't make any sense to me whatsoever, and I feel like I'm already just exhausted talking about this topic, because anytime that I get into this conversation, it's immediately whoever you have the conversation with, they're you're a leftist, you're a Republican, you're part of the Green Party, or you're independent. And it's dude, no, it's just biblical facts on the way that women need to conduct themselves, and it makes no sense the way that they're doing it today. You get on Instagram, I guarantee if you got off of this and you open the Instagram right now, go to the explore page, I guarantee that you can find a woman flaunting her body for I don't know, to entice you in a specific way. You could probably scroll for maybe 30 seconds and find at least 5. Because that's the way that women have been portrayed on social media, as this sex symbol, and that I don't need no man, I'm an independent woman and I'm going to look as good as possible, blah blah blah. Although as long that's not a bad idea, it's not, but stop, you have a boyfriend, seriously, stop flaunting that on the internet, because scripturally, biblically, that doesn't line up with what you need to be doing. But I don't even know if I can have this as a man. I don't know if I can divulge too deep into that conversation, because I'm a man. You don't know what it's like to be a woman. Blah, blah. You're right, I don't. But I do know that being half naked on the internet and in real life at a Morgan Wallen concert probably is not the best choice, and you're probably not gonna find a husband that way. And if you do, he probably doesn't love you for all the right reasons. It's all the wrong ones. But I think I just get off that topic because I'm a man and I don't think I can address that fully. But the social media thing, it just and I guess it's narcissistic, contradictory, however you say it, whatever. I feel like it's bad for me to talk about it because you're literally watching a podcast of me being self-centered. I've had to say that so many times already, to people in public, to people on here, to whatever. Nonetheless, the social media thing in general, I'm to the point where in my day-to-day life, I'm going to carry around a flip phone, because I don't want to have the instinct to get on Instagram or Facebook or Snapchat or TikTok or whatever social media is every 15 seconds of the day. Scroll for 2 minutes, get off of it, go to the next one, whatever, blah, blah, blah. I'm to the point where I'm like, again, back to the big, like, I'm so burnt out on that. Like, the idea of it sometimes just makes me sick, and I want to throw my phone away. So I'm like throwing away, or like throwing out the idea of getting a flip phone, because I'm just like, I'm so tired of dealing with the social media, because nobody, like, everybody that has a social media, or at least like 70 to 80% of those people are just like looking to be a content creator to make $1 million in 1 month and change their life. And dude, we don't need to be doing that. We need to be like, focus your eyes on Jesus, and all of that will follow, because you will find success. He always gets his moment in every one of these episodes, but follow Jesus and get behind him, and that success will follow. You don't need the $85,000 a month, and 6 cars and a 75,000 square foot house and all that. Jesus will tell you what you need. Like I've said before, I'm good in my 2-bed, 2-bath with 1 pickup. Like, I'm good as long as I can follow Jesus. I'm so good. And like, it just like it exhausts me to have to talk about this, because at no point in my life, in the previous episode we talked about like 2016 and how good it was. At no point in my life in that time period, from like 2013 to like 2020, did I think that social media was going to come to this point where it was like, I'm not out here to be an influencer. I will never claim myself as an influencer. It's passion for me. This is a way for me to connect with the public and talk about things that possibly do and do not matter. Nonetheless, but all these other people out here, like, I'm going to create a social media account, and I'm going to immediately try and get as many followers as possible, so I can get as many views as possible, so I can monetize as fast as possible, because I need $65,000 a month. And if I don't get that, then I'll never be able to afford anything. And screw working a regular 9 to 5. And it's like, dude, this is the reason that the economy is trash right now. Because you got 10,000 followers on TikTok, and you moved to LA, and you paid $6,500 for a penthouse apartment, when you could have been cool and had a great life experience if you would have just calmed down when you moved to LA and went to somewhere like way better, like Compton, and got a 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom house where the gang members protect you every night. Like, that's what I would do. Matter of fact, you know what? That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to move to Compton, and I'm going to get protected by gang members. Not really, because that just is not aligned with my values whatsoever. But, like, there's nobody in that social media game, nobody in the influencing game, in my opinion, that is full-on, like, full-blown mainstream, that, like, because it's not, you have different levels of being a social media influencer. Like, you get to the point where you have 10 million, and, like, everybody knows you. You have 1 million, and it's like, oh, did you see their clip on TikTok? Oh, yeah, I saw it. And then you have, like, 500,000 where you're, like, small, and you're doing brand new, blah, 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 whatever. But it's like, you get to the point where everybody knows who you are, and it's like, immediately everybody's like, let's move to LA. We should probably start a group house, and let's get like 15 other people for this $30,000 a month penthouse apartment, and we'll just create content 24/7. I'm sure everybody will love that for the next 15 years. And then like 6 months in, like, what was that back in the day? It was like Clout House and oh my goodness, I can't even remember them all now. But there were like so many like influencer houses where they got together and they like split the rent on a $45,000 a month, like 4 or 5 level house, and blah blah blah. Like, I can remember like FaZe Clan and all of them, like Clout House, the oh my goodness, like Taylor Holder and all those guys, and Bryce Hall and all those pretty boys. That's what they did. They just moved to LA and was like, if they didn't live there already, they just moved to LA and was like, I'm gonna be an influencer for the rest of the hour. Where are they all at now? I don't think I've heard any news about Bryce Hall other than that he like professionally plays poker. He does bare knuckle boxing. Like, he realized that being an influencer was not gonna last forever. And so like you gotta grow up. But the social media thing in total is just it just like blows my mind. Why do we have 75K on TikTok and we're moving to LA immediately? Why is that what happens? Like stay home in your parents' house and help retire them, and then take care of your grandparents after that, and then take care of your siblings after that, and then your aunts and your uncles and all that. Don't move to LA and split $45,000 in rent with 8 people that you don't even know, because in 6 months it's not going to matter because you're going to get kicked out anyway. I don't really have any room to be talking on this because I've never done it, but like I can see the writing on the wall. So this ADHD brain works a little bit better than everybody else's because my critical thinking is an all-time high across the board, because I'm not in it to be as nobody. It's like essentially this is passion project. I'm not looking to become famous. Like I've said before, if I do, whoop-de-doo. Don't really care. I'm more passionate about the filmmaking, about the process of all of it. So, and I guess at the end of the day, I'm also like, stop allowing the influencers to be like, you're like their number one fan. Like if I genuinely had a number one fan, I was gonna be like, I don't even know why you're my fan. I don't know why you're looking up to me. There's nothing to like, maybe because I'm tall. That's the only reason you should be looking up to me. All right? Do not. No. We are so good off of all of that. Please don't ever. Like people that are number one fan, I'm like, you're making my brain. I just tore the mic off the table. You're making my brain hurt. Anyways, I gotta put this. All right, I had to put it back on. Anyways, I feel like so exhausted lately. I don't know why. Probably because I work too much. Anyways, besides the point, I'm so excited because the media company, like, let's get into personal stuff real quick. Like, I'm genuinely so happy because the media, like, the full side of the media company is taking off. Like, being able to take pictures and film for people and all of this. Like, I'm so excited and ready to branch out to so many new things that are a possibility of my filmmaking career, to be able to like fulfill my passion projects, fulfill people's dreams, things like that, and like just help people, and being able to like move forward with that just makes me so happy and so proud. And I seriously, at the end of the day, like, I don't want to give the full credit to myself, because there's people that have believed in me, like Chavez is like my best friend. Chavez has believed in me from the beginning. Like I told him about this idea, and he was like, dude, you're just gonna have to make it work. Like he is my yes man. He's the person that I can go to, and I'm like, I don't really know. And he's like, dude, I don't know why you haven't done it already. Like, we can get in the truck right now, and we'll just go do it. And I'm like, man, you're my guy. You are my guy. And I've got another like couple other amazing phrases, but like by far Chavez is the best because of how amazing of a yes man he is. And I a lot of the times I just don't take a step back and understand, one, how good I have it, but that I'm fully living in a dream that I used to have. And that's like blows my mind when I finally like take that step back and realize like what's going on. And it just, I'm ever grateful. And also at the same time, it's thank you. It's a warm and big thank you to you guys for watching, for believing, for encouraging, for all of these things. I would not be able to do it all myself. The people around me are what genuinely keep me going at the end of the day. I don't know why this keeps moving, but it's making me so mad. Anyways, it's a conversation of just everybody allowing me to just have so much fun with life and be able to work on my passion projects. And is it so great? I don't know how a lot of the times I don't recognize how good I do have it. And I think that is like across the board for a lot of people. They don't realize how good they have it because living in the moment doesn't allow you to, like, at the end of the day, understand like how good you do have it, how grateful you should be for the moments and the opportunities that you do experience. But nonetheless, I just remembered this breaking in the news. When was that? It was like breaking in the news. Anyway, also, besides the point, before I get into that, did anybody else see the what was the name of that? It was the UFC fight, but it was like the Freedom 250. That's what it was. Freedom 250 with the UFC. They had that, like, the fights at the White House. I watched those. I stayed up till like 11 o'clock watching them. Those were, I haven't watched UFC in a long time, but I feel like those fights were probably close, like, not OG Conor McGregor Day good fights, but like those were some substantially good fights. Like, they were duking it out. And sporting events across the board, I think, have gotten a lot better over the years. We had a decline there for a while in sports because of what is going on? And we're going to switch here, and we're going to go like this. Okay, so I'm to the end of the episode. The camera, it froze up completely. I'm on, like, the MacBook camera now. I don't know when I get it. I'm still going to, like, it's all getting uploaded. Even if the camera quality is bad, because as you can tell, like, over here, it's, like, jumpy. Nonetheless, here's the situation. Sporting events have been getting a lot better, and I'm so excited to see them on the incline still, but I feel like we have a long ways to go with those situations. Now, I hate to say it, but I'm going to wrap it up here. Let's get you a little piece of something so you can remember. Oh, here you go for the day. Is God interested in the success of my business? Paul, Achaia, Priscilla, they were all Christian leaders in ministry and in business. They are examples of early Christians who used their business and some of its proceeds to serve God. God honors integrity, excellence, and hard work. While these character traits don't necessarily bring financial blessings, you can be sure that God will take special interest in any enterprise whose leaders acknowledge Him and faithfully live by His standards. The impact of your business will be far more significant than a strong balance sheet. Let's see. Acts 18:1-3 says, a Jew named Achaia had recently arrived from Italy with his wife, Priscilla. Paul lived and worked with them, for they were tent makers just as he was. I don't think we're back on this one yet. It's still really jumpy. But listen, that's your piece of scripture for the day. Ladies and gentlemen, let me switch back over. It's a little bit clearer over here, but I look like trash. I'm going to get it figured out for the next episode because I've never had this happen before. But ladies and gentlemen, that is the episode. I hope to see you again on the next one. If I don't hate me because you love me. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been another episode of the Bar's Brain Podcast presented to you by How You Doing Media. That's the episode. Bye-bye now.